Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another one of these things. The things where there's a discussion in a Unification Discord and I record a game just to try and assist with the explaining of how to do things. Yeah, I don't have a title for this because, quite frankly, I've only done one of them, so, haven't really thought about it. But anyway, yes. So, today I am going to be playing the Space Marines, my weakest race, or one of them, and I'm going to be fighting the Legion of the Damned. Because, let's not increase the game speed too much, I need to explain some things. So yeah, someone was asking how to beat the Legion of the Damned as the generic Space Marines. They were having a little bit of difficulty, to say the least. And Legion of the Damned are, if you may remember, quite interesting. They have some very different mechanics that they use. So, let's try and get all this out of the way. Now, to start with, in the West is me, Generic Space Marines, playing as the Firehawks chapter, because, you know what, it's ironic. And over in the East is the Legion of the Damned with their portal and their bikes. They only wish they were the White Scars. But anyway, so, Legion of the Damned mechanics. A very, very quick overview for those who are unaware, and I am going to actually slow the game speed down while I explain this. Now, Legion of the Damned, they have a single portal. They cannot build more. This is their only building aside from listening posts, mines, and a turret that can be placed on slag deposits. And turrets in survival. They rely on having listening posts in order to keep this portal alive. It degenerates over time, and at the start of the game they need 2 listening posts in order to keep it stable. They need 3 to activate a regeneration rate on it, and if they have less than that, then it will just, die over time. With each tier they gain, that number increases by 1. So for example, for tier 2, they need 3 listening posts to stabilize and 4 to regenerate. Which means that on maps like this, they are at a massive disadvantage because they can only get to tier 3 before they are forced to push into the enemy's listening strategic points and start taking them and building listening posts on them. So yeah, Legion of the Damned in 1v1, not necessarily the best choice on maps like this. On maps with more listening posts, more strategic points and relics, yeah, you'd probably do a little bit better. So, to start with, alright, I'll explain the morale. I'll explain the morale thing in a minute. But to start with, yes, I've got my Force Commander out. Why have I got my Force Commander out first before anything else? Well, he is pretty good against these Outriders. Outriders are demon armor, and Force Commander Boreal here, despite being a rather useless tactician, is very good at hitting demons in the face. Well, I say it was a useless tactician, I mean, I don't know, I feel Steel Rain might have worked had it been done slightly differently. So yeah, I'm going to send him over to the enemy's strategic point down here and start hitting it. Now, I'm unaware that they are going to just simply start repairing it. But this has lured an Outrider over. Which is, well, they've got 350 health, and now he has had 88. So, yeah, in one attack. That was a special attack, though, so, that's bit of a outlier. In the meantime, while I have been doing that, I have got me some sniper rifles. And I have got me some assault marines. Now, this combination is relatively good versus Legion of the Damned, I think, in my opinion. Just ignore the next door's dog, by the way. I don't know what he's having a conversation with. So, Legion of the Damned's morale mechanic. Legion of the Damned infantry, with the exception of the Outrider, are invulnerable until you break their morale. When you do break their morale, they will start degenerating, like this bike is doing. Outriders suffer all the negatives of the morale mechanic, but they do not get the invulnerability. Now, yeah, sniper rifles, that was one volley from 2, and it did 148 morale damage. To Legionnaires, who have a really slow morale regenerate, that is devastating. And yeah, you can see they are now starting to lose health over time, and they can actually be damaged by the sniper rifles. So when you break them, you can indeed focus fire on them and they will eventually die. They are still demon armor though, so you have to be a little bit careful of that. If you have anti-demon units, then yeah, that's probably the best option. Grey Knights would probably be the best faction to fight the Legion. And yeah, unfortunately for this Legionnaire squad, they're degenerating too fast, they're not restoring their morale, so that's just going to go down. Attica, meanwhile, has decided to come in and shank one of my scouts. I don't appreciate that too much, so here's some Assault Marines and Boreal to teach him why that was a bad idea. A Outrider has indeed come in to join the fight, but its morale is now broken. And it's going to do its spin to win attack, which knocks back all units around it and deals light damage. It is escaping, but much like the Legionnaires over here, it's degenerating, it's not restoring its morale quickly enough, so it's going to explode. Now, Attica is not actually affected by the morale thing at all, so yeah. I'd actually say, in the early game, he's actually one of the weaker commanders, I'd say. Yeah, I'm just pumping out units at this point. Although I am very low on resources. While I was doing all this, I should have been focusing on my economy. This is probably one of the sloppiest games, eco-wise, I have ever played. Note my use of one of. However, you might have noticed that Legion of the Damned have not really got out that many units. That's because, well, aside from really slow training time, the Legion of the Damned AI like to tech rush. So as you can see, they've just got their first tier. But because I've just destroyed their third listing post, they're now starting to degenerate. Because, yeah, they're tiered up, so they need an extra listing post to sustain the portal. And yep, let's take down that listing post, and then that means that they cannot now physically sustain their portal, because I have taken this point here. Decapping Legion of the Damned as you go is rather important, to say the least, because that means that they cannot just rebuild their listing posts. The nascent dreams of a dying emperor or something? They're builder unit. These sort of will-o-wisp looking things. they can go through terrain. They are effectively aircraft. Except for the fact they can be melee'd, but just ignore that. So, yeah, they can... If I didn't take that, they could just sort of go we over here and rebuild, and then we over here and rebuild. But, no, I've stopped them from doing that by taking that off them. Attica has come back up, but he is not really doing anything productive because I have way too many units at this point. At this point, I'm building a machine cult, so, you know, that's how that's going. I have also equipped 2 of my Space Marines with flamers, just in case. And, yeah, these scouts of sniper rifles, probably the MVPs here. I've also got a couple of Space Marines with missile launchers. I thought that would probably be good versus the Portal of the Damned. I'm not sure how much damage it does overall, but I'd say it probably did. I mean, it does a lot of damage to the Legionnaires as well, to be fair. I mean, well, that's not too bad for an anti-vehicle weapon. And the knockback as well, so, you know. Yeah, I didn't lose that listening post. It got a bit damaged because some Legionnaires coming in, but they're too focused on getting back to the portal to actually destroy it. I noticed them coming, moved my Space Marines back, and I got... some point I got Cloak, so yeah, it's just sort of... Plinky plinky. Send in the Assault Marines. Shank them a bit. And they will eventually just phase out. There we go. They're gone. Yeah, that's an ability that allows them to retreat into the warp to sort of, sort of, maybe heal up. But not going to really serve them well here. I might be wondering why, I'm not sure if I actually said this, but why Assault Marines? Simple. Legionnaires do less melee damage than they do ranged, even when their morale breaks, and they get a damage buff. So, yeah. Pretty useful to have some Assault Marines to tie them up. I'm happy throwing away Assault Marines if it means that all my other units here are safe. Especially my morale-breaking units. But yeah, this is pretty much over. They are very much dead. Some new Legionnaires came out. They're dead. I built a heavy bolter turret in their base just to BM them. And there we go. Problem resolved. So... God, trying to get all that information out in the space of 12 minutes is really difficult. But hopefully this shows somewhat at least how to fight Legion of the Damned. I mean, from the eco side of things, it's yeah, I can't really help you there because I only ended up building 3 generators and I have 800 requisition in the bank at the moment, so I could have built more. Oh no, I built a 4th generator. Okay, we're really... I don't know. I imagine at this point I was like, yeah, I've won, and just sat back and took a swig of Dr. Pepper or something. Anyway. So yeah, that's it. So, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed it, and until next time, I've been Caldaris. Goodbye.